The Center for Disease Control, the CDC, recommends that all young people below the age 25 get tested for STDs such as gonorrhea, chlamydia, amongst other STDs at least once a year. However, we do know that the testing culture in Nigeria is quite low, which is what brings me to today's video. That is the self-test kit. In this video, I'm going to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of the self-test kit. Let's get started. Let's start with the advantages. Of course, the first one is the fact that it's easy and it's quick. You can stay at the comfort of your home, maybe in PJs, in front of your computer and order for your self-test kit. You don't have to go to the clinic and wait for maybe 3 days to get your results, or they tell you come back in the next hour for you to get your results. You can stay in the comfort of your home and order your self-test kit, or go to your nearest pharmacy to inquire if they actually sell a self-test kit. Another advantage is the fact that it is confidential, which I believe is the selling point for the self-test kit. In Nigeria, here where there is a high sex shame culture, so many people would not want to go to a clinic to get tested, maybe because they are scared of the fact that the healthcare provider might become aware of their test result, and they don't know if this healthcare provider is going to go around the community telling people about the results. So the self-test kit actually fills that gap, letting people know that when you order for your self-test kit and you get tested at home, it is confidential. No one needs to know what your result is. It's just between you and yourself. Another one is the fact that it increases mutual partner testing. For someone that talks a lot about sexual health and positive romantic relationship, it is one that speaks to me. The fact that two couples could decide to test each other or test together before they move on with their relationship, it's something that I believe is beautiful. I know that one problem we have in our country is the fact that we have a high rate of unprotected sex, but a low rate of couples getting tested. So for partners who decide to take their relationship to the next level and don't want it to seem so serious by going to a healthcare provider, you can actually purchase the self-test kit, do it between themselves, know what their result is, and move on with the relationship. And lastly is the fact that it is affordable. For what you get, for the value that you get with this product, it is quite affordable. Now let's talk about the disadvantages. The biggest disadvantage that I see is the fact that the self-test kit does not come with any counseling services. If you go for STIs or HIV tests, you are entitled to pre and post test counseling. However, when you order for your self-test kit, you don't have any of that. And when you don't have any of these counseling services, I worry, what if your test results are positive? What do you do then? We know that so many people still have very limited views on STIs and HIV. If they are HIV positive, they might think that their life has come to an end. They might want to commit suicide. What the post-counseling test does for them is that it counsels them through the process, lets them know what steps to take to ensure that they are able to live a healthy life. And also the pre-test counseling services, whether you have HIV or not, the pre-counseling services ensures that you are aware of STIs, HIV, just to prepare your mind for what happens if the result is positive. And even if the result isn't positive, the post-counseling test educates you on healthy behaviors to pick up and healthy practices to continue to ensure that your test remains negative. The next disadvantage, because many STIs do not have visible symptoms, sometimes it just might not even occur to us to get tested. I spoke earlier about the low testing culture that we have in our country. So if someone does not have a burning sensation when they pee, they don't see why they should go to a clinic to go get tested. So the self-test kit does not fill that gap, and that is a huge problem. The next disadvantage, with the self-test kit, you don't have the opportunity to discuss other elements of sexual health and STDs. Many people believe when we talk about sexual health and STDs, that is where it stops. But sexual health has a huge spectrum, and if you don't have the opportunity to speak with healthcare providers, you may not have the access to learn about other unrelated healthcare issues. Another disadvantage is the fact that it could be difficult for people to use this. I was doing a video on a self-test kit, and halfway through the video I couldn't continue because I just couldn't understand how to test myself. So this is a huge problem as well. So many people would purchase the self-test kit and halfway they are confused. Where do I prick my finger? What is going on here? I don't know what to do. So that is one way that even people might get discouraged to get tested. They say, I tried, so I've done the best I could. Maybe it was not meant to work out. Maybe I'm not just meant to get tested. So the self-test kit sometimes could make it more difficult for people to get tested. And lastly is the fact that it has a potential to increase coercion when we talk about mutual partner testing. One of the advantages is the fact that it encourages mutual partner testing for couples who want to get tested together. However, when you flip it, there's a potential for it to not be mutual. Maybe I don't want to get tested, but my partner wants to get tested. He or she could force me to get tested. And some people could actually prick your finger without you knowing, maybe when you're sleeping, and get you tested. And that is incredibly inappropriate and invasive. This is all I have for the advantages and disadvantages of the self-test kit. I personally love the idea of the self-test kit. I believe that in a society like ours right now, where we want things done immediately, this works for the young people. However, personally, I would go to a test. I'm a fanatic for clinics. I want to go there. I want you to draw the blood. I want to see you get tested. I like the whole process of it. I just enjoy it. I feel it gives me a sense of reassurance that, you know what, you're doing the right thing. So I believe everyone has what works their boat. But I want to hear from you. What do you believe are some of the advantages and disadvantages of the self-test kit? And if you've actually gone through with the self-test kit, I want to know your experience. How was it? Do you think it's much better than going to a clinic? Tell me what you think. As usual, this is a platform for all of us to learn and unlearn together. Thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. My name is LoloTalks. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, give this video a thumbs up and share the video. I'm going to see you next week. Thank you and bye bye.